Hello, everybody. Yes, hello. I know a number of people are going to be watching this on the recording afterwards, so hello to you too, whenever you're watching this. Oops, I'm just going to do this. Okay, ready to go? So let's set up. Bruno is unable to be here today, and just so you know, so I'm hosting it. But yeah, he is going to watch later as well. So good to see you. Thank you for your time. And then a bow of gratitude for the practice and for the information. Okay, as usual, I'm going to start with one of our basic stances. So first, do a check to make sure the stance is correct. So put your feet directly below your hips. The width of your hips and the width of your shoulders is much the same. And so what we're going to do is we're going to call that shoulder width, it must be maintained that wide. It's very, very important. Okay, so I'm going to take my right foot and I'm going to move it straight forward, a large comfortable step, not uncomfortable, but just at the edge. You're kind of the maximum of what you can do. Now from here, you're going to think about the two hip joints being straight out like this, not turned to any particular direction. They go straight out to the sides, 90 degrees directly, not here and here, okay? Now from that, grab your dantian here. So your thumbs are in your belly button, your hands are below your belly button, and what you have is a point that goes from these two sides of the hips to the center of the belly, and that becomes the foundation of all the movement. It's the thing that's going to move. So from here, you imagine the spot on the back to make 4 points. So 2 front and back, side to side, and where they all cross internally is the actual center of the motion. So from that center point, that axis of those two lines, move straight back and then move straight forward. Very small motion. But the main thing is that your hips are what is being moved. The movement of the shoulders and the head is only because the hips are moving. And this subtle dynamic of how the legs push and pull is how all movement works fundamentally. If I want to turn in any direction, if I want to move forward or back, my legs have to do these little dynamical expressions of movement, but in a coordinated fashion, and you move around. So isolating these elements helps give you a better sense of how you actually move from place to place. We'll talk about that today a little bit. Now, as you go forward and back, you feel that your weight goes from the back of the back foot to the front of the front foot. The back of the back foot, the front of the front foot. This gives the ankles the feeling of being very open, very, very rolling, like a ball bearing that's spinning around. Take that feeling and allow it to open even more to the side. So it's that roll back feeling, but it opens to the side as it rolls back and then it comes around again. So you're turning to the side and you're coming around again. It's the ankles that really steer you, the ankles. And they do that through pushing and pulling at various points in the pad of the foot on the ground, the back of the back foot, the front of the front foot still. Now keep your eyes forward and your head forward. This is just for the body, not the mind. Well, sorry. This is just for the body to do, not to have the eyes follow the body. And now add in your left hand. Reach. Come back. Reach. Come back. It's very important that your elbow is close to your rib cage on both the return and going away. Close to the rib cage. But you think about all those dynamics you just built up, the coordination between these 4 points, the way the foot and the ankle is rolling the body, And you use all of that to sit underneath and give power to your hand. And part of what that means is that the movement originates below in the lower body and then travels to the upper body, not the other way around. Now, speed it up a fair bit. Let's get the heart rate up a little. Keep going. It's important to be able to sustain some speed a little bit. Relax your shoulder, relax your hips. And then slow it down again. Now, come to the back position, breathing in, fill the belly. And when you go forward, instead of reaching forward, you're going to punch, vertical punch, so the thumb is up to the ceiling, and squeeze your hand and squeeze your stomach at the same time here. So breathe in and breathe out and gradually add contract the muscle contraction to the very end of the movement to the maximum of your ability to squeeze here and here, okay? 1. Squeeze the maximum now. And then relax completely, breathe in. 3. 4. Remember to use your legs. All coming through the legs. And on the last one, I want you to actually breathe audibly. So push out your breath. Okay? 5. And then feet together, breathe in. Breathe out. Around the back, down the legs, down the back of the legs, around the toes, up. Flip up and out. And then shake it off a bit. And then put your left foot forward. And now we're going to run through the fundamentals a little quicker on this side. Let's start here, hands on the dantian. Remember, 4 points, here and here, the center of those points inside the body. Forward and back. Forward and back. Feel the dynamic on the ankles. And then use those ankles to allow yourself the freedom to move open to the right. And then back to the front. But still making sure that you're on the back of the back leg and the front of the front leg at either point. Now, right hand reaches and comes back. And the elbow again is very close to the rib cage. Very close to the rib cage on the way back, very close to the rib cage on the way forward. Now, gradually add a little bit of speed. We're not going to go full speed just yet, just a little bit. I tend to find that my right shoulder is more resistant to being relaxed. So relax your shoulder. And then allow the movement to go faster because the shoulder's relaxed. And the movement can just move without any sort of hindrance. And then as fast as you feel comfortable, you can do it correctly. And then slow it down. Now breathe in. 5 punches, graduating the intensity to the very end of the punch. 1. Squeeze. 2. 3. 4. Remember to use your legs. And 5, breathe out audibly. Make it a powerful breath. And then feet together. Breathe in, relax. Down. Around the back of the hips and down. Around the toes and up. And open. Shake it out. Good. Now, feet shoulder width, hands up. So you're going to drop your right hand, your left knee is going to touch it, okay? 1, and then the other way. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. All right, now you're going to touch and hold for 2 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The final one, you're going to hold for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down. And one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down. Now, push your left foot forward into the stance we were just talking about from the beginning here. Shift back to cat stance. Come up and do what's called a heel kick down. Stomp down if you're going to hit with your heel. And then bring your foot back up with the toes down. So toes down, heel down, toes down. And then step forward to where you started. Okay, so we're going to go slow. 1, toes down, heel down, toes down, back forward. Okay, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Switch feet. Same thing, but with the right foot. So come back, up, toes down, down, heel down, back up, toes down, step forward. That was 1. 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. Oh, wait, we did 5. I was going to do an extra one. Yeah, shake it up. Okay, one last thing before we do a stretch. Feet out again, horse riding stance, hands down. So just think about your breathing dynamically and comfortably here for a moment. Make the bridge of the hands coming together. Relax. Now, 3 resetting breaths. Sometimes I say called cleansing breath when I do this, but cleansing breath, resetting, 3 breaths to bring your breathing into a state of very comfortable, very calm, very low, deep, I should say, dynamic. Because breath should be like a smooth wave. Breath that goes is not good, right? That's an anxiety fear, it's a fear thing. So you want it to be a smooth wave, and these breathing exercises kind of set that dynamic into place. So this one, from this stance, is 3 breaths we're going to do. You're going to reach up, like you're holding something, you're kind of offering it forward, and then you're bringing it in towards yourself. And you think of a wave that just cleanses through, goes through, washes through, and it comes back down, and then it comes back up. So up, offer, in, down, push down, reset. Okay? 3 times, but coordinated. So here's the first one. 2, and 3. And then just rest, bridge here. Now, I was talking about this with my Qigong class this morning, but if you ever do feel like your breathing has become erratic or shallow or out of tune, so to speak, these exercises are helpful, but I'm going to give you guys can come up for a second. I'm going to give you guys a thought on that because it really helped me when I first came to understand how to work with this, because I grew up with a lot of breathing problems and asthma when I was a kid and all kinds of stuff. And so it really was an important focal point for me to learn how to correct my breathing. Is what a person tends to do when they get into a moment where their breathing has become erratic and shallow, hyperventilating kind of thing, is it's short, shallow breaths. They're up in this area and it's very tense and they're very short. And what tends to happen is the person will think, okay, I need to make my breathing go deeper and longer. So I need to force myself to expand that breathing or contract it. But that's not actually, that doesn't work very well, because what you do then is your brain says to your body, do this thing that you don't feel like you should do right now. Because even if it's purely psychosomatic, the brain still, the fundamental drive is to protect yourself. The hyperventilation and stuff is to be ready for something that you think might be happening. So you can't just say, stop doing that. So what you do is you think about, okay, where is the breathing? So if my breathing is shallow up in here, what I do is I think, okay, here's my breathing up here. It's a shallow, sharp movement here. I'm going to smooth it out in that range that it's in. So wherever it is, I'm going to smooth that out. I'm not going to go get down into my belly and relax. I'm going to just, okay, right here. I can just start to calm the waves here, and then it settles itself back down. It's so much better than just saying, that forceful attitude. It's working with the dynamic of the situation. Anyway, I wanted to share that today when we were doing some breathing. So come back out here. Now, to maximize the musculature of breathing, the physical muscles of breathing, it's important to develop your muscles. And that includes the arm muscles and everything. This breath and the arms have a relationship. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my right hand, palm up like this. I'm going to put my palm against my right hand here. And I'm going to take a deep breath in, filling my belly. And now I'm going to push out from here in my hand, but I'm going to give resistance from this hand, basically to the maximum my muscles can naturally push and pull against each other, okay? So breathe in. And from here and here, feel that dynamic between the two hands. And then go to the other side, breathe in. And out. Squeeze your stomach in your hands. 2 more times each. 1. And 2. And then last one. And then drop your arms back to the bridge. And then those same breaths again. 1. Now relax your shoulders again. And settle the breathing back down, because I'm sure the tension brought the breathing up a bit. So you bring it up, let it sink. 2. Relax the shoulders, relax the hips. Let the energy fall. And 3. And then come up. Hands up. Relax your body. Notice that your muscles, now that they've worked a little bit, are going to be more relaxed. They want to work. It's important to get your muscles something to do. Then you can sort of feel that energetic dynamic more clearly. So from here, step out again. I'm going to raise my hands up, palms to the ceiling. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out, down to the ground. Stretching down, relaxing the hips. Walking your fingertips forward, extending. And then over to the right hip and pull. And then over to the left hip and pull. Straighten your back. Turn to your left. Push to the left. Push a bit more. Turn to runner stretch. Sink down. Put your knee down. Push your weight forward. Come back up. Step back. Tai Chi stretch down. Flip your foot. Turn, look to the right. Straighten your back. And settle. Push into the stretch. Turn to runner stretch. Put your back knee down. Push your weight forward. Come up, Shift your weight back to your left foot, Tai Chi stretch down. Hands to the middle, work your feet in. Straighten up slowly. Push your hips forward. And then bring your hips back and circle. 1, 2, 3, other way. 1, 2, and 3. Shake it up. And then put your hands up. Relax your shoulders. Relax your hands. Relax your shoulders. Big breath in. Big breath out. 2, 3. And reach up and look up. Extend through your feet. Relax your lower back. Push your fingertips up. Push your toes down. Now push your heels up. Maximum stretch. Bring your heels down. Grab your left hand with your right. Turn your body and pull the arm past. And then the other way. And then back to the front. Reach up again. High as you can, feet flat on the ground. Now turn your palms to the outside, this way, and go on your tippy toes. Push your toes down, anchor yourself between your big toe and your thumb. And then bring your heels down and pull your elbow behind your head. Other way, pull your elbow behind your head. And then drop. Shake it up. Left hand up. Pull back. Stretch your wrist. Really feel the wrist stretching. Back, over, and push. In and twist. Forward, crane beak, which is this, with the other fingers connected, pushing down. Give it a little shake. Right hand, pull back. Back, over, push back. In to twist. Crane beak and push. Shake. Hands on your hips, your head side to side. And then roll your chin one way, roll your chin the other way. Roll, roll, and roll. And look forward and look up. And down. And circle. 1, 2, 3. Other way. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. How are we doing here? Good. Want a little bit of water? I need to just have a quick drink of water. Give me one moment. Yeah, I changed my schedule, and so now before this class, I'm doing another class, and so 2 hours of doing a lot of talking tends to dry my throat. So thank you. Anyway, you guys are doing great. This class is moving along at a very healthy pace, a very nice pace through the form. And usually what I do is I just sort of teach as much of the form as to people as I can, given the time that we have together. As you can see, the form is quite long. You've only started the second set, and there's a whole third set behind that, and the third set is longer than the second set. But this is a really fun time in a person's practice where you get to just keep adding and adding and adding and adding and adding. And then eventually you do get to the end, but it takes a while. And I remember when I was learning the form, I was in my early 20s, and I used to do tree planting. Excuse me. And so I would go for the summer and work tree planting, which has some interesting, it's very intense work. But I would come back and I would always have whatever amount of the form I had, and then I get a little bit more throughout the winter. And I think it took me 3 years to actually get the whole thing, because I always had these breaks where I would take off to go to work. So I really enjoyed that process of like adding a bit more and adding a bit more and adding a bit more. So let's have a look at the first set as a review, and then the beginning of the second set, and we'll start to add a little bit more. So the beginning of the first set, I'm going to face this direction here, and then I'll work this way. So starting position, relax. Remember that the breathing we were talking about today, the type of movement, watching the stance, whether your feet have the stability between them they need, all of that, continually be aware of all of that. Step out. Feel the weight go down, but feel your head rise up. And then the hands rise, but the weight stays rooted. All right, so that was the first set. People have, well, the people that are attending at the moment, if they have questions, I'll take them. But if people have questions that are watching later, send me the question. I'll try to answer it. But hopefully it's working. People are feeling more and more comfortable with it. Now we haven't done much of the second set. I don't think we've gotten. Can somebody who's here tell me if we've done repulsing the monkey?
Yeah, you just introduced that the last time.
Okay, good, perfect, thank you. Okay, so let's just have a quick look at everything to that point again, make sure it's all making sense. And again, if you have questions, let me know somehow. You can email me or Bruno, I'm sure. So when you end the first set or begin the second set, you have this position here. Now this position is called carrying the tiger to the mountain. And what I want to do right away is recognize my elbow is 1 fist distance from my rib cage, just as it is when I begin the first set here. Same elbow position, the hand is turned around. That's the only thing that's changed, is the rotation of the forearm. And I forgot to turn on my light. Oh, sorry, 1 second. I have a light, I forgot to turn on, I can show you better. There. So that kind of helps. Here, so here, I'm carrying the tiger to the mountain. Now, I don't know why anyone would ever do that, but imagine you are holding something heavy, right? I'm holding something in my hands and it's got some weight. And I'm gonna put my weight to my left foot and drop the weight. A feeling of falling back with it and turning. So as this falls, I just follow the falling of it, right? Right? So that movement down and out is an important part of this. So you imagine that somebody grabs your wrists and you come up like this, right? So if I grab your wrist, the person comes up like this. Their weight goes back like a wave, and then it's gonna come forward again, because that's the instinct, right? You're gonna come forward again, and as they do, you drop down into the side. Okay? That's the first thing that's happening. So carrying the tiger to the mountain, imagine resistance. Imagine you're pushing up against something, and then you let it go, and you follow it to the corner. And then you do the rest of catching the sparrow by the tail, exactly the same as it is in the first set. And then from here, you're going to spiral down on your left foot and spin so that your 2 knees align. And when they align, your hands push down. Now here, your weight's on your left foot, your right foot goes back, and then you shift your weight back and you do a low cat stance with your 2 hands coming up here and doing a circle. The circle, I'm going to point this out a few times, this position is 1 fist distance from the rib cage, just the same as carrying the tiger to the mountain. It's the same position. Okay, so you're here, then your right hand reaches out, your left hand drops, right hand pushes down, left hand shoots out, and you strike. Left hand across, right hand on top, right hand shoots out, and you strike. Then I pull my right hand in, my left hand comes forward, and we have the positioning of this technique called repulsing the monkey. Now, the positioning. This hand is at the height of your solar plexus with your fingers slightly downwards. See? Slightly downward, not here, they're there. And it's a retracted position. It's a pulled back position. Well, this one's forward. I think this one's not too hard to grasp. The big thing is you just make sure your elbows are tucked in, right? So your elbow's not here, it's tucked in. This one's a little trickier. This hand, this elbow should still be in line with the rib cage here. So you know when we were doing the warm-up today, we're doing this, and I was saying keeping your elbow close to your ribs. It's that position when you go forward. So this is not gonna work. You can't do it like this. You know my elbow comes out, the elbow has to be behind the hand. The fingers are slightly to the outside, and what you're doing then is you're locking through your back muscles, the lats. They're strongly being held in place, okay? So we'll do the beginning of the second set one more time. So carry the tiger to the mountain, let it go and follow it to the corner. grab, and figure 8. 1, 2, back, push. Now, turn all the way around. Knees align with each other. Step back with the right, circle with 2 hands, cat stance on the right foot, left foot in front. Hold the position. Now, right hand out and across, left hand strikes. Left hand out and across, right hand strikes. Right hand pulls into position, left hand out to position. So this is what we were just talking about, this position. Now from here, I'm going to get my left knee to come up and touch my left elbow. My toes are pointed down, same positioning of my foot. And then I step behind with my left. And as I do, my hands change places. So that as the hands change, there's a moment where your weight goes to your back foot, and that should be when your right hand in this case is pushing out. And you sink onto the next cat stance in the same position. And then up, and you do it again. And you do it a third time. And then you hold there. We're going to stop there. Okay? So let me just do it a couple more times to really watch this dynamic. So I go to here, I have my first position. The 2 hands represent yin and yang. This is yang, this is yin. Yin and yang going from yin, relative positions to each other. So yin goes to yang goes to yin, and they go there in unison. So the right hand, or the left hand in this case, forward, comes back at the same rate that this hand comes out. And what matters is that the moment where the 2 elbows are in this point here is the moment that yin has become yang and yang has become yin. And that's the moment where your footwork has to be perfectly timed. So when I'm here, as I step back, the moment where my elbows are both here is the moment my weight is going onto my back leg. So now as this hand is going further forward, my weight is transferring to my back leg. And then I do the same thing, and I pay attention to that. I only start to really push this hand, the elbow past my ribs, when I put my weight to my back leg. And then one more time. Okay? So that represents a very, you have to be very mindful. Where is your weight when you're doing this? Now, what are you doing? You're, well, one of my teacher, my Tai Chi teacher, like to say, step into my lair, said the spider to the fly. And it was a principle he liked. And that principle is, you draw a person in. So in terms of martial arts, right? We're talking about self-defense. A person does a punch, a grab, a kick, whatever they do, and you draw it in. So you step out of the range of the danger of it and get them to kind of overcommit to that technique. So you imagine a person is punching here, like this. At this point, if I go any further, I've brought my weight to a precarious position where I'm basically not in balance anymore. I'm still in balance here, but I'm not in balance here. And if a person is punching at something, grabbing at something, attacking something, and they see it in front of them, and they go for it, and suddenly it's not there anymore, but it's still right in front of them, they'll just do that little bit of an extra push. And that's what this represents is you stand here, you're like, I don't want to fight. And then the attack comes and you step back and sink. And that person still sees you, and they're going to go a little bit too far. They're going to stretch a little too far, and that gives you this opportunity, a gate. In Aikido, they would say an Aki gate, to turn the situation around. So you let them fall a little bit too more forward, and then you do whatever the technique is you're going to do. Okay, so that's the principle of this move, and it's such a good principle. it's brilliant. It works so well. Now just from a technical standpoint, like what your hands are doing in a very simple, a good but basic applicational idea is if I'm here, I come up like this and I go 1, 2, 3. Okay, block, strike, block, strike. Now this left hand coming out again is a block. It could be a block against either arm. You could be blocking to the outside, to the inside, you could be going to the shoulder, you could be putting your hand in their face. What you're doing is you're stopping something from coming at you through there. Stop. And now you're going to think, for now, we're going to think this is a right hand punch, though, okay? So I'm here, you block the right hand. So if my right hand comes towards the camera, your left hand would be on the inside of my right hand, right? On the inside with the pinky finger against the arm. There, right? Then you're going to turn and grab the arm, so it twists this way. Okay, so your hand rotates and you twist the arm this way. You're going to step back, and as you step back, you're going to hit them in the face with your right hand. Okay, so if I'm going towards the camera, I go punch with my right, I grab with my right, your left hand comes up to block it. It grabs and it rotates and it pulls me this way. You step back, and as you do, your right hand hits the face. There, okay? That's the basic premise of this. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what the hands are doing. Now, this is also a good point in the form to point out that there's always these other possibilities represented by different positions. This position, doing this with your foot indicates you can kick here if you want. So if you imagine again, the person punches with the right, okay, and you block it. And you grab their arm, but instead of stepping back immediately, you can kick them with your left foot, then step back. But then you can kick them again with your right, if you want. I mean, that might not be necessary, but they're both potentially there. So try it with the left foot. So here comes the right hand comes in, you block it. You grab the arm and you twist, but you do a quick front kick with your left foot, and then you step back. And then you do the other hand in the face as you step back. Yes, okay, so look, I'll do it this way. I block, and I do the first slight pull in, and that just, as I said, the person overreaches, and they're a little bit off balance, and that gives you a moment where you could do this, right? This foot can come up and kick, as the form tells you by this knee coming up. But then I step back, and as I step back, I can also kick here with this foot as this hand comes in. So both of them are perfectly legitimately there. And this is this is one of the wonderful parts of the form, but this is also one of the daunting parts of the form. There is no way that anybody can tell you exactly what to do in any situation in life. You have to take the information and the techniques and the tools that you've developed and apply them in the right way for the right moment. And so the form is giving you so many options, but you got to pick the right one at the right time. So there's the kicks, okay? So you got the kicks here. And then the final thought is the turning of the hands this way, right? Because one hand is going from palm below to the palm above, and then vice versa. So imagine somebody grabs both of your wrists like this, here. So here, and what I do is I pull one back and I rotate the palm up, and I turn the other one forward, palm forward. And what happens to that person is they twist this way, or this way, depending on which one you do. So you're twisting their arms, and what that does is it sets up all these opportunities to throw people. This is, if you go and look up judo throws on YouTube, which is actually a pretty good idea, you can see some interesting stuff, you'll see that they're wrestling around, and they find a moment usually to turn the circle, and set up to do a throw. And that's actually going on here too. And that's what this can represent as well. So the three concepts that this technique introduces, stepping back into the void, stepping back into a space where the person overextends, the ability to shift back and kick and strike as you move backwards, and finally turning the circle so the person is off balanced. Those are the main elements I want you to think about in this technique. It's an amazing technique. It has so many layers to it. Anyway, let's go back to reviewing the form. So second set, come up, and then shift back. Push away. Double tray, down. And push. Spiraling onto your left foot. Pushing down, stepping back, big circle. Hands come up, Right hand out and across, left hand strike. Left hand out and across, right hand strike. Right hand pulls in, left hand comes out. Now, first of 3 repulsing the monkey techniques that we were just reviewing. 1, 2, 3. So make sure that when you get to the last one, your right foot is forward, right hand is forward. Okay? How are we doing for time? Okay, we have just enough time to do a little bit of an introduction to the next sequence, but it's a long sequence. We'll just do a little bit of an introduction. It's a fun move, and it gets you guys ready for next class. So, okay, remember there's 8 directions you're going to turn to throughout the form, but only 8. So there's always a specific angle you're turning to in every movement, okay? So when I get to here, I've done my last repulsing the monkey. I'm looking here, this is my forward direction at the moment. What I'm going to do is turn, and I'm going to go 135 degrees to the back right corner. 135 degrees. So it's not 90, it has another 45 attached to it. Okay? And so what you're going to do then is you're going to turn yourself to that corner. So if I'm here, and this is the corner I'm going to over here, what I'm going to do is take my right foot and turn it on the ball of the foot and put the heel down and then bring my knees together and then bring my right hand across here. And now I'm facing that direction, and then I step back and pull back with my right hand here. It's only actually part of the movement, but it's the basis of it is the turn, okay? So just practice that again. Right foot turns, heel or knees together. Turn to the direction you're facing as your right hand comes in to there. Okay, one more time. Go. So it's a super efficient way to turn. Now let's add it to the pulse of the monkey techniques. So left foot forward, start. 1, 2, 3. Right foot is forward, turn. Step back. Okay, one more time, same thing. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Turn. Back. Okay, so that's a little taste of where we're going next. And then you'll be about, I don't know, the first 30% of the second set. Now let's review, come on. Let's review the entire first and second set one more time for today, put it all together, and then that'll be our class for today. So first set, start from here, relax, step out. Let the weight sink down, but push the head up so your body is elongated and standing upright. And then hands up. Now it just continues. Turning to the corner. Down. Up. Remember that your hips are always moving. Your hips are always controlling the movement. And then 1, 2, 3. Turn. And that's as far as we've gone to. Good. Okay. Well, again, any questions, let me know. As always, I hope you guys are enjoying it. I'm happy with the class. You guys are learning well, and if we can keep just adding more and more, we're gonna get through the whole thing. I think late spring, early summer. If you kept it up, we'd get through the whole thing at this rate. Hopefully, I'll see you then.
Question. When you do the spiral before you do the repulse monkeys, I am having real trouble with that. You make it look so smooth, but I'm just kind of jerking around. And I don't know, I'm on a carpet. Maybe that makes a difference, but I don't know. Maybe we can review that a little bit next time.
Are you talking about when we do this and turn, do this movement?
Yes, that
Yeah.
one.
Okay. Are you wearing socks?
Yeah.
Okay. Then every surface kind of gives you this different kind of experience of how to move, and in the end, you get used to different surfaces and everything. But what I can give you is the beginning point and the end point, and you have to figure out how to get between those two things yourself, really. I can tell you all the things to pay attention to, but in the end, it still is, you got to get there yourself. So the beginning point of that one is the weight coming forward onto the right foot. And the end point is, well, the transition even, is to come back and turn on the ball, the front of the left foot, this way.
Yeah.
And just keep working with that and relax and just, it takes a long time. It just takes a long time. Okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. And thank you, everybody, for continuing to, if you're watching later in the recording, we'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.